All right, hey, it's Big Cat Live coming back with you in the next Digimon Survive episode, and I'm joined by a new lackey today. You want to introduce yourself, my good friend?
Woo woo! I'm right on Goose. I stream sometimes, I think. um, that's about it. We've known each other for a bit of time now.
All right, we're finally actually doing something together. Finally doing
Yeah,
something
for
together.
real. Yeah.
All right, let me
Uh,
catch you up to speed on everything that's happened as I also do the recap. So last episode, basically, if I remember correctly, um, we had the giant spider take Aoi, and we all thought she died, but she didn't. So we had to search around the entire school. Aoi's the girl in the pink dress, which you'll see her again in a second, or pink shirt. I don't want to say dress, pink shirt. And after finally rescuing her and saving her, we all decided to rest. We also got to see the three other characters that were missing, which were, or technically, yeah, no, three. Saki, not Saki, Saki, Suji, and the professor. And right now we're trying to find them. I believe, if I remember correctly, the professor got separated because of reasons. Or did he get separated? No, he didn't. Man, my memory is so hazy. Yeah, that's a big rundown. The more rundown for you. I'm just gonna call you Brodo.
all right.
But more rundown for you is these kids went on a camping trip for their school, and the school they went to the shrine, and from that shrine they got attacked by these random monsters, which are Digimon, but they don't call them that in this game. And so they were transported to another world, and now these little Digimon that are helping right now decided to become their partners. So they're trying to survive this world. People can die in this game, so like actually die, not just like, oh, you lose, no, like literally die.
Oh wow.
So
I thought Digimon were only like a computer thing.
so normally they really are just normally a computer thing. For some reason in this game, and I've noticed it really well, they don't really treat it as a computer per se. It's weird. Basically they're treated as like actual monsters slash animals.
Yeah. Makes
That can
sense.
just evolve for some fucking reason.
I mean, it's plot. Why not?
I guess. So I think it kept like one or two free battles, but I got rid of most of them only because this episode was like really, really long.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that happens, and I had to do it this way otherwise, because if I try to cut this out, there would be like no way to cut it, especially with the next episodes coming out. So yeah. But as you can see, also catch up to me, this game's a tactical turn-based, but it's mostly about the visual novel. Tactical turn-based game is more small side of things, but it is still technically tactical turn-based.
Yeah. It's like
Any questions so far?
No, it's fairly easy. I was going to ask why there's no audio, and then I realized I needed to unmute my computer. Or at least the player.
I was like, I could have sworn I turned the audio on. I just put it on softly, but it was there. I know it's there.
Yeah,
So
I was just like, man, this game is really quiet. Like, no noise.
you know, this is why I like Craig a lot, because Craig, you can actually separate all the audio files completely, and that helps out a lot with trying to fix everything in Premiere, because Premiere likes to fight me on every little thing.
Yeah. See, I had to get a DSLR for that, or not a DSLR, like something that essentially splits all my audio. That way I can just listen to things without having echo.
So, fun fact about this game, because like I said, I don't show too many of the free battles too often, because I'm trying to keep the time low and keep more in just the story, because they have their battles and story from there. The enemies in this game, if they feel like they're going to lose, they'll start running away from you, but they won't actually run from the map. They'll just run away from you on the map, which is really, really fucking annoying. Like, super fucking annoying. You have to hunt them down while they're running from you on a map that's tactical turn-based.
Yeah. Sounds great, actually. That's something I would do. It's like, oh, you're gonna win. It's okay. I'm just gonna make it as painful as I can for you. Come chase me.
Yeah, the question system I kind of enjoy but hate at the same time. It makes sense because you're like trying to get them to feel friendly with you, but sometimes like the answer to the questions are like really just randomly and super just stupid. Like you have no idea what you're supposed to say.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like in Persona, whenever you're like trying to convince someone, it's like, you smell nice, and then your options are like, oh, thanks, I put a cologne. Don't smell me, you creep. And cool, you smell nice too. It's like, what are these options?
But sometimes it's like the "don't smell me, you creep" is like the right option. You're just like, why is this the right option? Why
Yeah.
is this the right option? So, how much do you know about Digimon?
I remember the banger ass of a title, the Digimon, Digimonsters. Yeah. I remember that banger of a song. I remember they spent 10 minutes of a 30-minute episode digivolving. Let's see what else. Um, and that's pretty much it. That and little red dinosaur that you're using. That's the only thing I remember.
Okay. No, I've gotten now just to ask people because sometimes I've gotten like really weird answers. Like, I had another person on. They were talking about how they recognized Greymon. We were doing a Cyber Sleuth episode, and I was like, okay, cool. So then this other Digimon that came on, that was like a big red Digimon. They're like, yeah, that looks exactly like the Digimon. I was like, what are you talking about? No, not even close. It looks nothing like Greymon. Why are you even comparing the two?
Yeah. Actually, I also remember. I'm gonna say Paimon, even though I know that's from Genshin Impact. But you know what? It's Paimon. It's a little orange ball with wings on its head. Well, actually, it's a ball, so it's just a head.
Oh, you're talking about Patamon.
That one, little angel thing.
I was about to say, yeah, because there actually is a Paimon. I'm like, that is not what Paimon looks like. um, yeah, actually, Patamon's in this game. I have not encountered him yet, but he is a part of the story later on. I'll say that much because obviously, as you can tell, this recording, I played a lot farther ahead in the game, way farther ahead. I just need to start catching up. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's super smart, though. Like, I've wanted to like streams where I do like just talking with someone while I play a game, but I never really thought about pre-recording everything and then just having a session of just BSing on top of the gameplay.
That's just how I like to do things though, because it's just like I like the idea of like having to try and coordinate the gameplay and everything to make sure we're full, and people may just not show up. So like if like something happened where like I can't get anyone home, I saw the recording, so I can just talk about it myself and just see how that goes. I've done it a few times. I'm like, oh wow, this is such a long episode. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. But I definitely might do the same thing too, because it's just smart and easy. Because you can have something in the back pocket. And it's definitely a lot easier to watch something and talk rather than talk and play at the same time. Because a lot of times when I do that, I just can't do either very well.
Feel you on that. I so wholeheartedly feel you on that. What else was I gonna say? So I will have to give this game points because it has that persona-like feel to it, in a sense, where you have to build up the points with the characters, and I think you might see in a second because I think I do show it slightly. You still have to build the points with the characters and make the characters like feel all friendly with you and stuff like that. But yeah, so you see all the characters here, or for that split second.
Yeah.
You have like points where like you can get them to like you more, like their affinity with you goes up if you answer certain ways like that. So
Yeah. So essentially, what you're saying is there's waifus.
I mean, there's a waifu. You were to say, so your Dank and Dank has a lot of waifus, I guess, in this case. No, but to me, the character I think I like the most so far out of all of them, if we're just talking about looks alone, 'cause I forget their ages, but I think they're technically not old enough, so. Talking about just looks alone, though, it's gonna probably be Saki, though. She'll see her, I think, towards the end of the episode.
Mm.
But
Japan does
so,
that though.
yeah, I mean, technically speaking, their dating age is a lot lower than ours, so it's one of those things where it's just like to each their own, I guess, in the countries.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like Japan will like make some kind of bomb ass looking characters like, yo, she's at least 20, and then it's like she's 12.
Well, I do know like the dates or the age when they can get married. I think over there is like, isn't it like 16 or something? It's a lot lower than it's a lot lower than what it is in the U.S.
Yeah, it's lower. Actually, it's weird because they're not considered adults until they're 20. Actually, now they changed it until 18. Before it used to be 20 years old.
Okay, so Japan's age of consent,
Yeah, it's way, way lower.
it's like basically 13, but the way they actually look at it is mostly 16 and 18. So yeah, pretty much 16 and 18 is where you basically get.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like I said, that goes back to kind of making sense why their characters' ages are a little bit lower because getting married just right around that time frame.
Yeah.
So it's seen as like they're young adults about to become actual adults.
Yeah.
Also, best boy or second best boy, Marl. I'll show you first best boy later on. So originally, before I accidentally spoiled myself, I had 3 characters that I said if either of them died, I would restart the game automatically.
Mm.
And I'm not going to go into why this changed too much because it spoils the story a bit, but I can't do that anymore because of how the story works.
Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way. So what I'm going to do now is complete the game as is, still playing it as blind as possible, and then go through and replay the game to get the true actual.
Oh, I see.
You have to, because this game it does something I don't like, and I can't talk about this. To get the true ending, you have to be on New Game Plus. You cannot be on the normal gameplay to get it. You have to be on New Game Plus to get it.
Oh.
Which is an interesting choice, and I kind of hate that at the same time because I feel like if you make the right decisions, you should be allowed to just get the ending automatically.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but I know Final Fantasy Type Zero is like that as well. Like you play the first time and you can finish the game, but then when you start the New Game Plus, it has small variations to the actual story, and then at the end it's like you can actually get the real story or the real end, which still has a good and a bad ending.
Oh, actually spoiling too much either. Soul Hackers apparently came up for review. I read about it from some SMT player. Like he plays a lot of SMT games, Persona games, and Atlas gave him the copy a month earlier. But he's one of the few people that doesn't like start just posting everything in 5 seconds. He actually waits, but he does put non-spoiler reviews. But he was saying Soul Hackers has a similar thing too, where you have to be New Game Plus to get access to certain things and certain like boss fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't understand why you do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand it for certain cases, like with Persona 4, like the Margaret boss fight. I can understand why you need to be New Game Plus to do that. Even the twins of Persona 5, I can understand that. But when you come back to like this, when it's like an actual gameplay ending, where it's like an entire ending and an entire route, you cannot go until you beat the game once, then I go back. It's just like, why? I don't understand that. I don't agree with you.
Especially when a game is like a commitment game, like most RPGs. Like I'm sure you can't beat this game in like 20 hours, and even 20 hours is a good bit of time.
And this game is definitely, I think, roughly towards like 40 plus
Yeah.
hours. And right now, been pushing pretty hard to the game, and I'm only at part 6,
Mm.
and it has about, if I remember correctly, 11 or 12 parts to it in
Oh
total.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm barely halfway.
Hmm.
But where I do have to give this game credit when it comes to in comparison to SMT5, which I still hate that game so much. And I'll get into that why I'll get why I hate that game in a moment. But unlike SMT5, your choices actually do matter, and you can't choose a route unless your morality is properly geared to that route. Now, cool thing about this game, which I found out, and this is not too much of a spoiler, and you'll see later on do it. If you have all your answers simultaneously close to each other, it will, and above a certain number, it will allow you to choose all routes because you're basically neutral, which is fair.
Yeah.
So that's what my plan is. You'll see later on, I started choosing raffle and what's it called, moral choices, because I was going straight harmony, and harmony was like at 27. My other two were like at 5, and I was like, oh no. So when I get it neutral, what I can do is I can save each of the files and just go each of the routes, and then I'll probably new game plus whichever route is best for me, and then go with that until I get the final route.
I see.
But back to SMT5, I hate that game with an iron patch, and it's because of its. Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I haven't gotten parts.
How far have you gotten? Let me ask, because I don't want to spoil anything.
It's fairly early. Like, I think it was like level 20-ish. Like my character. Um, and I had gotten past like one or two of the main bosses, and that's it.
So do you mind if I talk about it indefinitely or no?
I mean, that's fine.
Okay. So I hate the game because of its lack of story, or not necessarily a lack of story, but the poorly written story.
Mm.
And I don't know if you've noticed it, but the game, like, kind of, because you played Nocturne, or you've seen enough of Nocturne to know just how that story goes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Nocturne doesn't necessarily coddle you to the next area. Sometimes you have to really actually pay attention where you're supposed to go and know things and figure things out. Whereas this game, it like coddles you there, and then it has the same problem as another person had mentioned about Steven Universe, where if he's not there, nothing happens,
Mm-hmm.
and that becomes a problem because you have some of the most random ass scenes that make no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene to talk about is like when the law character finally breaks down. I don't want to spoil who the law character is, but when the law character finally breaks down, becomes his whole law root self. He's randomly standing on top of a building that you just happen to walk past, and he's losing his shit.
I can relate.
And it pisses me off though, because when you compare it to like SMT4, when you have Jonathan's law breakdown, his law breakdown actually seems something that he would actually do, and it also seems like it's just reaffirming his already own beliefs. The character that they try to mold into a law character was someone who already had law-like beliefs, but they decided to change what law should be, push in a whole entirely new direction, and try to force them into that. And I was like, the character's not built for that. And it clearly fucking shows when you have that entire scene. Because I swear, I cannot tell you how many people just laughed at that scene.
Yeah, I've heard a couple things like the SMT5. The writing gets kind of whack at some points.
It pales in comparison to Nocturne, and that's depressing because Nocturne has barely any story to it, but it uses that so well to make it a good game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the same thing when you compare Sword and Shield to Pokemon Emerald, and you're just like, you can't make a comparison like that. Yes, you can, because guess what? Emerald has more story than Pokemon Sword and Shield, and you're just like, you think about it and you realize, oh wow, that's actually true because you can get to do shit in Pokemon Sword and Shield until like the very fucking end. Where Emerald, you're actually doing shit, you're actually thwarting people, and you're actually getting a part of the story and different elements to it.
Yeah.
It's that same consistency problem. It's just like, why is a game that came out in PS2 era story wise better than the game that came out Switch, PS5, Xbox era?
Yeah.
That makes literally no sense. I can understand maybe gameplay wise, the two could be better because gameplay is just subjective to which game you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to story, and you're talking about a series that's going on, you should be building upon it. Now, I understand there's going to be some that just flop. I understand that. We're not talking about like Kingdom Hearts 3. This was a game that's actually been building up story and story and story, and they decided to pull from Nocturne to make a better story because you can tell there's a lot of elements pushing back to Nocturne. And Nocturne was already set up to where they could do some crazy ass shit with it. They did nothing. They just pulled out what's from.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I have to give points where points are due. Gameplay and art are hella good. And animation too. The gameplay, animation, and the art were all hella fucking good in that game.
Yeah. I have noticed in general a lot of like the storytelling in a lot of games nowadays. It's not as good as like PS2 era.
And that's like depressing. Like, how are you regressing so badly?
Well, you also have to think like PS, especially like the PlayStation 1 games. I mean, let's be honest, most RPGs, if it wasn't like 80 plus hours, it was not really a game. It wasn't considered like long or even average. But then over. Huh?
No, continue.
Yeah, and then I was gonna say, back then you also, people were into the graphics because, I mean, at the time, like the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 graphics are like, oh my god, that is ridiculously realistic. But you had to do more to kind of wrap people up and make them more intrigued in the world. Nowadays, people can rely more on the graphics to wrap you up in like the beauty of the world, rather than, well, yeah, it kind of looks crappy, but the story is what keeps you going.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. I will give you that because that's true. But at the same time, even if you're trying to make a lighter story or a smaller story, you still can make a good story that's only like maybe 20 hours, 30 hours of gameplay. That's not hard.
100%.
But the problem is they focus more just too much on graphics and everything else and actual story. So it's left. And you can see it easily because sometimes characters are just thrown in situations that make no freaking sense. And I'm just like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Like, I have to give, and this goes back to Survive, I have to give Survive, I have to give it points at the same time. I can't really give it too many points because this game's supposed to be a visual novel, so it focuses mostly on story. And on the art's great, and then the gameplay is like, it's what you expect from tactical turn-based. I can't really give it points from there. Down points, it's just the same. But it shouldn't take a game to be focused only on story to make a good story. You don't need to just do that. You can make a game with this story that's actually good that focuses on everything else, but the story can still be good. The story doesn't have to take you 10 fucking years to write a good story.
100% agree.
And it's just
a game that I started to play. Oh, go ahead.
And actually, no, continue because I gotta look up the date for this, and I'll tell you in a second.
So what I was gonna say is a game that I started to play lately that I'm entirely too late to start playing it is Subnautica, and I bought the first and the second one because they were super cheap together. So I'm like, oh, why not? I've heard a bunch of good things about it, and it's a fairly good streaming game, and it's fairly light on the story, obviously, but then some point that you've been playing, you start finding a couple like things. The story becomes super interesting because spoilers for a very old game, I guess. Um, it turns out there's like some kind of civilization, and you're trying to escape a planet that's actively keeping you there. And I haven't finished it, but I was just enjoying like the little um, being under the sea, building stuff, and just exploring the world. And then the story comes out very subtly, and it has a moment that like really is in the forefront. I'm like, yo, what the heck? I'm genuinely interested. Like, I triggered an event that was timed, and I was getting ready to go to bed. So like, I saved. I'm like, I'm just gonna see what happens after this. I just kept exploring, and it took me to like one place, and it just a good bit of lore just starts coming in the middle of the same gameplay that I has, and I was like, yo, this is actually really good, really interesting. And I had to like finish it because I'm like, all right, I need to go to bed, so I'm just going to replay the same part and actually take my time because I was essentially just running and trying to expand on the little bit of lore that it's giving me. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? And
No,
it was something I
I feel
really
that.
was not expecting at all from that game.
No, I feel that. That sounds really cool. But what I was going to bring up real quick, I'm jumping back to SMT5 for just a few moments. That game was announced in 2017 and
Oh
was
yeah, I
probably
remember
worked
that.
on. It was worked on probably about 2 to 3 years before that. It's like game got released in 2021. You cannot tell me you didn't at least dedicate a year to make sure that story was good. Just a
Yeah.
year. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even dedicate that. And if you did, I don't know who the fuck's on your writing staff. Holy shit! Either they need to go through school again or take some time to really understand the aspect of like how characters are supposed to act.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, and I'm mad too because I was really looking forward to that game. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it because the gameplay wise was great. But it's just like it sounded like with Nocturne. With Nocturne, I could do subsequent playthroughs. Hell, I played that game, beat the game 6 times over, and I still never got old of it. And I'm actually right now thinking about just doing another run on like the new Game Plus mode just to show all the bosses getting murdered alive at the Jack Rose just because I can. But
Mm-hmm.
but that's because the game has such great replayability to me. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. There's one part of it that I hate doing over and over again. I'm gonna have to do, which is shitty, but I hate doing it. Which is the Puzzle Boy game. But that's like your mandatory one thing wrong in your PS2 era game. There's always one thing wrong with PS2 era game. There's always one, and
Yeah.
it sucks when it comes.
Yeah. Every game needs to put like that area where it's like, oh man, I really hate life right now.
but But no, and me and the other dudes were actually talking about this the other time where we were talking about games that don't actually necessarily have a story, or they have a story but it's hidden, but people still love to play the game anyway. And that's like the games like Design that win that we were talking about, like with like Dark Souls and Minecraft or games like that where there's a story, you get to look for it. It's not in your face slapping you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say like I have zero clue about any Dark Souls lore at all, but all I know is that it is very extensive to the point like every single Souls game has like the same character, and he goes to like this progression arc through the games, and it's things you don't know unless you actually read the lore, which is the one thing I really don't do in video games. Like you can give me a book nowadays on a video games, I'm like, and click, 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 click.
You know, so But so far, as you've been watching now, what do you think of Survive so far?
Um, Aoi is Bane.
Did I
um,
just did I find you a new waifu?
I don't know about a new waifu. I mean, bays come and go, but waifus are forever. uh, no, it seems interesting. It's definitely one of the most, I guess, it's kind of dialogue heavy when it comes to like, because I can see like you're doing like the moves and things like that for like increasing like your social links for lack of a better the actual game term. Um, so I do like that about most games if it has really good characters. Um, so that was actually legit creepy. I'm like, yo, I didn't think it was this type of game.
Forgot about that scene. I legitimately forgot about that scene. Otherwise, I would have said something ahead of time. I completely forgot about that scene.
I was talking to like little girl in your ear. It's like, hi, do you want to play with me? No, no, I don't.
Yeah, no, the story is interesting to me, and I like the aspect that they went with like a much darker theme. Because Digimon games, surprisingly, especially because I finished, and I need to start uploading this. I don't want to get crucified 'cause later on when I do actually get some more subscribers. Hey, I'm probably gonna be alive for the fact that I took so long to upload this series. But
Yeah, yeah.
the Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory series, because they're technically together, Hacker's Memory is a sequel to Cyber Sleuth. Kind of a sequel. It's a weird sequel, but it's a sequel. Um, but both those games hit like really, really dark topics.
Mm.
Um, and it was kind of refreshing to see. 'Cause I was trying not to show like Pokemon games like they hit their dark topics. It's more like a don't do this, that's bad. And Digimon's just like
Yeah.
Digimon's like, you can die, motherfucker. Stop doing this shit. They do.
Pokemon's like, oh, I'm gonna murder everyone in the world, and then they beat him in a Pokeball battle, and they're like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. They're like, oh, it's okay, we forgive you.
Yeah, Digimon's just like, I'm gonna kick your ass. You better start teaching your Digimon better. And on top of that, we're gonna go to war. We're gonna hack people. And it's like, huh?
Yeah.
People be dying left and right. Huh?
People die when they're killed.
But I feel like Digimon, especially with well, Surprise getting a lot of mixed reviews, like a lot of it's getting hate for like the stupidest reasons because people are kind of angry that the gameplay is like just not there. But if you pay attention to any of the trailers of Survivor, even any of the reviews or any talking points about the game before the game even came out, they made it very clear that this game's the game's pretty much just a story-driven game. It's about the story. It's a visual novel, and the tactical turn-based is kind of just thrown in there to be experience like the boss fights and evolution, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So I will say this:
Yo,
I love Agumon's character in this series.
the one question I have is Agumon voiced by the same girl who does Goku?
I have no idea. I'd have to look it up. I'd actually have to look it up. What is? Do they sound familiar?
To me it does. I'm looking at it. See, let's see.
No, but she's done. This person's done some stuff in ReZero. Or no, that's Takuma. Who knows
新
Agumon?
坊の実まで。そう言われると。うわ、アグモ
Yeah, so Chiaki Sakamoto.
I could.
どれじゃあ俺も。こら、ミノルミノルくんおい、大丈夫か
She's done a lot of Digimon things, and she's done something to Sailor Moon too.
Mm.
Gundam too.
ミノル、大丈夫かたくま
Yeah, she has quite a few notable titles in her belt.
Interesting. I just heard the voice. I'm like, wait, that sounds kind of like Goku. It could be just because I've been playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Before I asked you about the demons, yeah, she's done a lot of movies. Like I'm looking at movies now. Holy crap! She was apparently in Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro, and Kiki's Delivery Service.
Mm. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So how is Kakarot writing though?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's just Dragon Ball Z, and I bought it on sale to where I could also get all the DLC with it. So I was able to use some of the DLC to get Super Saiyan. So Vegeta was fighting against Super Saiyan Goku. Back when he first came into planet Earth, because I decided to level him up quite a bit.
Nice.
But the gameplay is fun, and I am up to the Android Saga, and there's a couple extra like side quests that have a story outside of like the regular Dragon Ball Z story, but I'm not too far into those side quests. So it does become a little bit more interesting. It's like, oh wait, there's an actual side plot beside Dragon Ball Z.
Like when games do that, like drift away from the actual TV show or anime, do some like, more side quests and some backstories from it. I like when they do that a lot.
Yeah.
Now the real question that needs to be asked: which one's your favorite Digimon so far? Out of the partners.
The dog one. I'm sure there's like I like the dog. I always little Digimon thing. I think.
Labramon.
Yeah, that one.
Alright.
He's cute. I want to give him pets.
Nah, mine is without a doubt Falcomon. Falcomon is just, he's like he's the pinnacle of innocence with smart combined. He's like Tails but more innocent, and it's like a beautiful thing. So he's definitely by far my favorite character.
Yeah.
So far. There's gonna be more, and I'll probably ask you again after you get some time with them. But yeah. So out of the characters,
I feel like that character Ryu should have been black.
Why? I'm just curious. Why?
I'm not sure. It's just like I see him, I see his look, and I'm like, I feel like if they would have like colored him in tan or black, I feel like he would have fit his personality more.
So here's my whole thing on that. Technically speaking, yes, I know they could have did it to make it a little bit more diverse. Wouldn't have been such a bad idea, but at the same time, it's in Japan at one of the Japanese schools.
Yeah, 100%. It would stick out.
Yeah, it would stick out and be kind of just completely left field. And I'm not anything against that. Like, no, don't get me wrong, because without a doubt, the Japanese video game companies are starting to actually put in more diverse characters. Again, one of the good things about Sword and Shield was Nessa. Holy shit, Nessa.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people were into Nessa for other things than just the character.
I'm not going to deny it, but you cannot lie. She's not a good-looking character, good design character.
You see, for me, it was the professor, like
Sun and
the
Moon?
assistant. Yeah. The professor assistant.
Professor's assistant. Sonya?
Maybe.
With the orange hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sonya. Nah,
Yeah.
it's all about that Nessa. It was all about that
You see,
Nessa.
I saw her. I'm like, yo. I know there's a lot of artwork of her already.
But, going back to like diversity like that, it's just this game. It wouldn't make any sense to have a really diverse cast because you're talking about Japan schools and shit, or Japanese school. I don't want to say Japan school, Japanese schools, and that's just not something that's really diverse there at all. So I understand. I'm fine with the way the characters are like that. I'm not mad about it. But I can understand when people might come back and be like, oh, this character look at this or that. And it's like, you're not wrong. This is taking place from a school, so context and the situation doesn't make any sense for it to be diverse. So
yeah.
That's like my thoughts on it.
I mean, people. Let's not say people. There's a lot of Americans that get upset over Japan's lack of minorities and like anime and things like that. But it's not like when we have a regular show, we just throw a bunch of Japanese or Asian representation out on the shows because, oh, representation. It's like, let's be honest, if you're making a show or anything that takes place in, I don't know, America, you're not going to have the majority of your cast being Asian unless the plot calls for it. Same thing in Japanese things. Most of the stuff that happens in anything anime related, it happens in Japan. It's hard enough to see Caucasians and foreigners in Japan, much less people of color. That's just how it is.
No, and I completely agree with you. And even adding more to that too. What was I about to say? There's this whole thing. Do you remember the remember back in COVID? I don't know if I ever showed it to you, but there's this video by NHK talking about like why the Black Americans are angry about what was going on. Well, it had to do with like COVID and also George Floyd's death. Like Black Lives Matter started actually coming to play, and so NHK tried to make something to like show support. You know, a lot of people took offense to it and called it like super duper racist because the way they drew the characters. My whole thing was, you got to understand, like I talked to quite a few people about it, you have to understand, the Japanese people don't really see black people all that often, to the point where when I was in Japan, I got treated as if I was a basketball player. And I'm like, dude, I am like 50 pounds over the weight limit of being a basketball player.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, they thought I was a basketball player just because I was tall, and that's not them being racist, since they don't know. It's because they don't have a lot of people from different cultures in Japan. They have, don't remember, they get visitors. They don't have a lot of people from different cultures in Japan, so they're not going to always know these things. And so, designing the characters that they designed to show their support, yes, they looked slightly racist in a sense, but it was based off the things that they saw in the media, because that's the only place they're going to see black people. So it's just like, that's not really racist. It was not done with the intent to be rude. It's just what they see.
One of my favorite things, and when it comes to like representation, it's have you seen the the Steingate's I Am a Mad Scientist?
No, I have not.
No, here I got a link. So they show this black guy being like a guard, and honestly, it's absolutely hilarious because the main character, he like is trying to like get through, but his whole little it's great. You just have to watch it.
To watch it. Um. Oh yeah. So another thing, I don't know if you've noticed this yet, or they may not have popped up, but what's about to happen is well, one, I'm going to mess up this part first because the backing out of the menu of the world map is not an option. But in this game, especially in the world they're in, the camera that you have, the phone that they have, never runs out of power, and also allows them to see things that they normally shouldn't be able to see. And this basically comes to play in the second part of the series online that I have right now, because when Aoi gets taken by like the spiders before that even happens, he has his camera. Also, I need to actually read this at one point, but it was like way too long for me to read it. I was like, but anyway, but he has his camera, and he just happens to look around the school, the room that they were in, and he saw spiderwebs everywhere. The spiderwebs weren't there before. When you saw it there through the camera, it brought everything into play.
Yeah.
So the phones bring back kind of that digital essence of them being what's it called, Digimon, but at the same time, it's not really that.
Yeah, so it has like a digital aspect to it, but just not fully there. Unless at the very end, the twist is that they are inside a computer after all.
That'll be some weird shit. That'd be some Inception shit.
They actually are an SAO type of thing.
So, if you had to get trapped in a world of like one of the original like kids cartoonish animes, which one would it be? So while you're thinking, I'll answer mine. Mine would definitely have to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's the least likely one where I'll actually get murdered alive. I'll probably lose my soul like 17 times in like 1 week.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about, man? Those guys play these card games and they have monsters come out of the card and literally blast them, and they just sit there crying in pain.
I would rather be in pain than deal with 3 feet bees coming at you.
Shit, I would rather have like some kind of Saiyan just come and just one shot me, and like 2 weeks later I get revived by some magical dragon. Because that sounds a lot less painful than me playing a simple card game. And this guy's like, "That's my blue eyes white dragon, and I murder you, but not really. You're just gonna suffer."
But you suffer more in Dragon Ball Z because they beat the crap out of you before just straight up killing you.
Shit, who's saying anything about me being one of the Earth's greatest warriors, though?
What's gonna happen is Krillin's like, Rono's the greatest warrior, go after Rono.
Yeah, nah, I see what happens to them. I steer way clear of any of them. I'll just be living somewhere, and then I see just some dude flying in the sky. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll be revived in a week from now.
But I mean, you only get revived like so many times though before it's like game over. Well, I mean, technically, they keep changing that rule though.
I was saying, how many times has Goku died?
That is a good question. How many times has Goku died? I kept track.
I'm gonna guess it's I'm gonna guess like 3 or 4 times.
Well, you're right on the money. He died apparently 3 times.
Yeah,
First time was holding Raditz. Let's see what it says. And then yeah, what's Cell?
And then I know he dies, or he's dead in the Goose
Apparently
Saga.
so yes and no, that one's weird, but apparently the third death has to deal with so the third death has to deal with a different timeline. It's where Trunks is like original future timeline. He dies because of a heart attack.
Yeah.
So that's like the third time he's died. But technically speaking, when the whole Blue Saga happens, he was already dead because he didn't come down.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. I was expecting like 5.
I guess I would be in Pokemon because I could be a little kid with the power of a god in my hands and also leave at the prime age of 10 to make fortunes and live on my own as a little kid.
3-foot bees are coming after you, along with 5-foot ferrets are going to come and mug you.
Hey man, but it's okay because I have this electric rad that can just discharge 1,000,000 volts into them.
That's not what they dodge or use sand attack to defend themselves. You got to remember the Pokemon rules in the real world are different from the game.
Well, it's okay because I'll also be super powerful to the point where, like, I get blasted with a flamethrower at point blank and I somehow survive.
That is Ash. That is not you.
It's sorry, I'll just make sure I never know my dad.
Actually, speaking of Ash, have you been keeping up with the series now?
I haven't seen it, but I know they're kind of poisoning him to retire or something like that.
That's what I've heard too, but it's getting interesting though. He's in a Masters tournament where he's basically like just fighting all these super powerful characters. He actually, I think last week or the week before that, he fought Steven and barely won.
Mm-hmm.
Which that fight like had like people a little bit angry though. But if you like, I think someone did the damage calculations. They were like, no matter what, Steven's Metagross would have already been dead before he even got to Pikachu. That's what they were saying. Pikachu was the one who like ended his Metagross, but his Metagross took a fish's rend to the face from a Draco fish, and it's just like, yeah, that thing was dead right then and there.
I mean, it's also the anime.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Like Pikachu would be like a level 300, and Ash has a bunch of his Pokemons from other seasons. So that would really say that this dude literally traveled the world in a year, not even.
Yeah, surprisingly, he's not really using them from the other seasons. He's keeping just the ones he has right now. But they did have a full-on episode where like they were training together, which is actually pretty cool. I will say this though, his current team's actually really good. This man has a Pikachu, obviously. He has a Dragonite, a Gengar, Surfetch'd, and Draco Fish on his current team. I'm like, that's an actual, like that's close to being competitive, like actually competitive in game. Decent team. What? Usually he has like 5 unevolved Pokemon for once all his entire team's evolved. And fully evolved at that.
I mean, to be fair, he's come far from his let's say first week as a Pokemon trainer where he finished all of Pallet Town because let's be honest, if he's still 10 years old, he's been like days to finish seasons.
I mean, he was actually pretty good in Sinnoh, but he got copped out of a win. Because he should have won that championship, but I don't know if you heard what happened. Like his final opponent in that tournament was just complete BS.
Yeah, like Latios, Latios. Yeah, he had a bunch of BS Pokemon, even though Ash's team was really good.
Yeah, well, he had a bunch of BS, but the first one he had was a Darkrai. I'm just like, why does this man have a Darkrai? Why does this man have a dark eye?
For the same reason he has the Latios, man. They're just out there.
I mean, no, I can forget the Latios because for some reason Nurse Joy has the Latios. That I still not gotten over. She have a Latios. Mario was a dumbass here. I love him to death, but he was a dumbass here. That will scare them. That will scare the monster with razor claws, and there's 3 of them against you only. That will totally scare them.
I mean, it's not the worst take that some video game character has had.
They even have the punk-like voice. I'm just like, why? Why did you try to go alone?
You see, that's one of the times like these be like, oh, my apologies. I'll leave you guys to do your thing.
I love how they're standing. Like when he was like standing to the back posing against like the professor, just like he has so much sass in his stance. Why is he so sassy? What made him so sassy?
Hey, they're there to rip some and also look good while doing it.
You're not wrong. So here's another question I got. Cause, this came up last time I was talking to Dank about this, and I feel like you'd have a different answer. So you've seen enough about Digimon at least to know that at like the later evolutions, they become almost human-like.
Yeah.
And you knew that's kind of inspired a lot of people who were on the furry side of things. My whole question is, do you think Digimon was intentional with this?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna go with yes because they would sell more merch like that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all about that selling point.
That's my whole thought, because I'm just like, at a certain point, you have to know this looks way too sexual. Because it's just like, think about it, yeah, Patamon's first evolution was Angelmon, and then you had Batumon's evolution, which was Angel Woman, or Angel Woman, I think is what it was, yeah. And I'm just like, what? What?
Yeah.
Overly muscular, overly buff?
I mean, carnivore. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, the original carnivore is Jinx.
Oh no. That would just. I'm sure there's some stuff out there about Jinx way too much.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm thinking about it. It's just like you have to be intentional with this shit sometimes, because with Digimon, they stop caring, because you can tell like after like the second evolution, like when you get to like Mega and Ultimate levels of evolution, they're always like some humified figure type thing that's like super overly buff and super overly sexual in some shape or form. It's just like y'all were hoping for like the R34 to sell your stuff. Like, don't lie to me.
I mean, you have the cute first stage evolution for little kids. You have the second stage for that point where they're not really teens. And then the last evolutions for the adults. They covered all their bases.
The sad part is, again, you're not wrong. Because you can clearly see it, because like, especially with the Agumorph's evolution, Agumon, you got Greymon, you got Middle Greymon, and then you got War Greymon. You're just like, how did we get from Middle Greymon to War Greymon? Because they do not look alike in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Then you got Omnimon, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm just like, huh? Why?
Yeah.
Also, my whole thing is there. How is he not dead? But okay. I'm pretty sure it's not a fist eater one. I'm pretty sure he hit him with those claws. I'm 99% sure those claws pierce the ribs and into the lungs.
Just a flesh wound.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's an anime.
That's what I like about all the RPGs. Like people like fight and get all these injuries, and then they're at 1 HP, and then the next attack is just the lightest tap, and oof, they died.
I will say this too. I kind of like how they did the evolutions in this game, because the evolutions like have a serious meaning to it. Unlike the Cyber Sleuth and Hackers Memory series, the evolutions happen in that series, because the evolutions happen for like the outside characters, not you. It's kind of just there in a sense. I'm just like, eh. But these, they try to make it have like some type of meaning to it. And it's just like, I agree with it to an extent, but I do like how they went about it story wise. I love the cinematic scenes that they do. So you can already see it. You can see them thighs. They're already starting it. So my whole thing with Digimon too that's weird is, I was thinking about it, is like when they Digivolve, they technically change names too. So their name's attached with their form. But when they Digivolve, they already know their name. If that makes any sense. So like I'll use Agumon for example. When Agumon evolves, he becomes depending on what evolution you go, but if he evolves into Greymon, he becomes Greymon, but his name at that time becomes Greymon, even though he just evolved into a Greymon, which apparently he already knows that he was a Greymon to begin with when he evolved into it. My question is, why do you already know your name?
You know, maybe it's not really their name, it's a nickname. They just Digivolve, and they're like, they have a mirror, and they're like, yo, I kind of look like a Greymon now.
Okay, then fine. Also, I didn't explain. I should probably explain the evolution, because evolution in this game is interesting. So, the partner Digimon for the characters, each character has a partner. They can evolve after a certain point in the story. One's like unlock for them, and then when they evolved, they lose SP over time. But as long as they have the SP to maintain the form, they stay in that form. And you have 3 Digimon, like you see that Golemon that's with me, the red dude that's moving very like right before the professor. He's a free Digimon, so he's not partnered with anyone. Because he's a free Digimon, when he evolves, it's permanent. So he just stays in that evolved form.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me because it's such a weird choice. Let me put it that way. Because it seems like you can basically, if you can grind out where the evolution items are at, then basically you can get an entire team of overpowered Digimon, not have to use your own Digimon. But even then, your own Digimon aren't that bad either, because they're just walking vessels to pop out, like, I don't know, or Greymon or Middle Greymon, some shit like that. Middle Garurumon, because they're your partners. And they can just transform in and out of those forms. So, I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? There's no cost to like who you can bring either.
Yeah. Well, maybe is there? So like the wild ones, they don't take SP. They don't consume it whenever they digivolve.
No, so for them to Digivolve, you have to actually get like certain items and evolve them. Kind of like, in Pokemon, the Thunder Stone and like the Water Stone and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You have to actually get items to evolve them. And when you evolve them, they stay evolved for the rest of the entire game into the future. Like you can never devolve them again. Unlike in the Cyber Suit series and Hacker's Memory, you can devolve and re-evolve, but there's a reason why you have to do all that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with that, the story ones, I'm sure, are stronger, right?
I mean, that's the thing. It depends on what you do is stronger. Because the story ones, like I said, you don't. What's it called? The story ones, you lose SP at the end of every turn. Mm-hmm. So you're losing the ability to do attacks. You have to keep the SP up there just to make sure you have the SP to keep attacking. Whereas you have the free ones who actually regain their SP at the end of every turn.
Mm-hmm.
And they stay evolved automatically. And they're not penalized for being evolved.
I don't know. Yeah, because like I feel like
the story ones have my apology. The story ones have more diversity in what they can evolve into, especially Agumon. Because when you do multiple story passes them, you can still evolve a new game plus to any of those evolutions before having to unlock them again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird to me.
A little bit.
Choice. Yeah.
So, because I could see like in that case, I would just not really use the story ones unless I needed some sort of flexibility for whatever reason that one evolution tree can give me that I can't really have if I just have them all evolved.
I can see that.
But yeah, I guess it would seem like it's just pushing you more towards using the ones that are free versus the actual ones that the store provides.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But without a doubt, though, in some story elements you have to use the story ones because story driven, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But cause, again, like I said, I'm further in the game right now. I'm in this one area where we're traversing a duct. I'm just gonna say that much, not to get too much of a spoiler. And there's one part where I have to fight this boss, but I'm the only one who can fight it. It's only me and Agumon. So you can still use your free Digimon. So I just brought my 2 free Digimon that I've been training off to the side, and they basically just murked the entire map by themselves. Like Agumon didn't even do crap. And then on top of that, when Agumon had a special evolution, because in that same episode he had, or same clip, he has a special evolution to his Mega form, or no, Ultimate form. I think it's Ultimate then Mega. It's Ultimate form. The Ultimate form didn't even impact anything because, again, my just normal champion Digimon that I had just literally one-shot the boss after the fact, like it was nothing. I'm just like this whole cinematic scene of we need to power up, we need to get stronger, and then evolved. It's just like it didn't.
We need to get stronger. Oh, but you don't understand. I have the power of grinding.
That's the thing too. The story, they don't really talk about your the free Digimon as allies in the story at all, and it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, some of those things kind of hard because it's like the game where your character is a nice goody two shoes. It's oh, I'm just here trying to save the world, but you need to have some gameplay. So in the gameplay, you're out here literally massacring people by the thousands, and then the plot comes in. It's stops one person. It's crying. It's girl, you literally just shot 20-some people in the face right before this. Stop.
I know. My favorite is the oh no, we're afraid of bullets. What do you mean you're afraid of bullets? In the gameplay, you got shot like 17 times. What do you mean you're afraid of bullets? Well, but
Or
that's
like
one thing.
Kingdom Hearts, where like at the beginning of like Kingdom Hearts, Sora's like, oh, I need to get stronger. I need the power of awakening, and I've lost so much power. And like you're playing, and like Sora's over here, like just using so many powers and just completely destroying things by the dozens. It's like, yo, how much stronger do you want to get, man?
That's another thing too. Is just like Kingdom Hearts. I think they did it because they wanted to balance Sword and stories like that. Like every single time he somehow lost his power in the most weirdest way. It's like the start of the game. The only time you actually felt weak, I guess, in the start of the game was like maybe Kingdom Hearts 2, because Kingdom Hearts 2 you felt weak at the start of it because he was actually relearning things. But 3, they couldn't pull that shit because there was no reason for him to lose all that stuff, and so they decided to put everything into it. I'm just like, what power does Sora need? Because right now I could probably take on Xemnas with all the power he has right now and win.
Sora's like, oh my god, I've gotten so much more weaker. And the gameplay is like the best gameplay. You have like all the other stuff that you can do and all the other games combined. And it's like,
The man's like bringing down meteors and like freaking roller coasters to like blow everything up, shooting bazookas. Just like, well, what part of this is weak?
it's like, man, this is the strongest you've ever been, and we've been playing the game for a whole 5 minutes. Chill.
Again, like, comparing to Kingdom Hearts 2, like you had like no skills or abilities. Even in critical mode, like you have some abilities, but you don't have much. So it's like, yeah, you get that feeling like you're still trying to get stronger. Okay, that makes sense. And by the end of the game, especially Kingdom Hearts 2, you're pulling out wombo combos out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
Like blowing everything up, especially with Reflect. Oh god, Reflect. Just destroying everything. But yeah, no, 3 was just like a really bad example of trying to prove a rape thing because it did not make any sense.
It's one of those, yeah, he's gotten weaker. Because we say he did. But yeah, that's like one of those things like with game is so hard to balance. It's like, well, do you want to give them something that's realistic, or do you just want to make this person a one-man army and somehow incorporate that into the plot?
Then you also have the problem in the game too, it's just like you basically like wipe the floor with the dude, and then the cutscene's like, yeah, you lost, and it's just like, I was scraping your face against the asphalt. How did I lose?
Yeah. Yo, if that monster should have a one-hit kill against a human, I'm just saying.
Did you see what pants it was wearing?
Hmm?
Did you see the pants it was wearing?
No, I didn't.
It was
It
wearing
was wearing pants?
Yes.
I did not see pants.
You'll see it again soon, because that's not to spoil it, but you can already figure it out. It's pretty much the boss of this clip.
Yeah,
So yeah, look at it again next time. Look at the legs.
I'll have to check it out.
Like I said, I cut out a lot of free battles only because I didn't want to show too many of the fights, because like I said, it was taking too much time. Otherwise, this episode would have been like 3 hours and 40 minutes, and I'm like, don't need to be that long. So I took out a lot of that stuff, which did shrink down quite a bit, which is good. But yeah, the boss fights I kept in, and anything that was like with the actual fight where you had to see everything, that I kept it in. For the most part,
Yeah.
I think I kept just only one free battle at the beginning because it was short.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But yeah, I do like in games where, you know, if a game is like, you have a character that's supposed to kill you, like, I want that character to like, yeah, you can't really do anything against it. But then if it's a character that is supposed to kill you and you beat it, they should at least do the effort of giving you some kind of like, oh, and then this happened. It's like in Devil May Cry 5, the game starts off with a boss, but you don't have any of like the skills and abilities and anything of that you're going to unlock throughout the game. So the fight is extremely challenging the first time you're playing it. But if you beat him, if you actually win, the game gives you an ending. Like, it's like, and then essentially it gives you like a little text like, and then this is the best possible outcome, and nothing happened.
So, real quick, I was scrolling through Facebook real quick, and oh my gosh, someone put in one of the groups I'm in a 1v1 between Jin Mori from Jin Mori's series. I don't know if you've seen it. The anime, like that kung fu anime.
I haven't seen it.
Well, basically, he's like kung fu, then he becomes like basically almost like a god being. I think he is a god, something like that. This weird stuff. Versus Sora, and I'm just like, y'all realize Sora is a lot more broken than he looks. Like, he is not so should be comparing.
Yeah.
I thought people realized that after they saw the whole Mickey versus Yoda fight in Death Battle.
Mickey versus Yoda?
You didn't see that Death Battle?
I have not.
Well, there was a Death Battle, and you can figure it based on what I was talking about. One, Mickey demolished Yoda in the end. But that's because just Mickey's broken as shit. Mickey can stop time. He can use ultimate. Like you can't really compare Mickey or even any of the Kingdom Hearts characters because all of the access and magic that they have. That's one thing. Their actual feats. That's another thing. Why do people do stupid comparisons? Why?
I mean, yeah, it's just how Donald is the strongest mage in all of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that still scares me. Like, I did not see that scene coming. I don't know why he even did that, but I mean, it shows his supremacy. It's just like, why can he do that? Why?
I mean,
why can he do that?
He's the strongest mage and the best healer too.
No, he's not. Stop lying. You're something about that one.
I died like once or twice at the end of the first Kingdom Hearts, and it's because
once or twice.
Donald. I'm not counting the fights that Donald wasn't there to heal me, because obviously Donald was not carrying me. But you know, like you saw Donald and how good he was healing. Like that dude was keeping me alive.
Did you forget about Ansem? Did you forget about Ansem?
Like I said, Donald wasn't there.
The first part of the fight, he was there.
Yeah, I didn't die to the first part. I died to the last one, where he comes and gives you hugs and shit.
You're talking about the second part? Because there was a second part where you're in the little cave area.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, because you died there a lot, and then the final part. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you won the final part in the first try after I'd gotten you all the upgrades to your spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, remember, actually, no, yeah, Donald did help you a lot in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. That Donald was clutch. Like Donald was the bodyguard. They're like, hey, Sora has to do this, and
So
Donald
wait,
was like, I guess I'll keep him alive.
So wait, do you think you'd do better had what's his face? Donald been there when you were fighting Sephiroth?
100%. Give me a mod where Donald can be there in the Sephiroth fight. Sephiroth would start to cry. He's like, yo, stop. Because it was like every 10 seconds, Donald was like, Sora! Wee 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 wee! Sora! Wee wee wee!
Yeah, I need to do Kingdom Hearts run, just like through all the games on this. Just do it.
Mhm.
I have not played the game so long. I need to do it again.
Yeah. What I wanted to do is do a complete and Fire Emblem Heroes or Fire Emblem Houses, where I'll start Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and then at the same time I'll be playing the Fire Emblem 3 Hopes at the beginning, and then whenever there's the time skip where it jumps to the war, I'll just move on to play Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, and then I'll jump back to 3 Houses. It's like a weird continuation that doesn't really continue or make a whole lot of sense.
So are you going to be recruiting everyone or no?
I mean, I've thought about doing like a no recruit run, but there's so many characters I just can't live without.
Have you like seen the death scene for those characters? Like when you don't recruit them?
Yeah, I have seen it. It's super sad.
I know, like that's like one of the things I have to get 3 Houses. Like they make you feel bad for not recruiting.
Yeah, like I don't remember what character it was that I really wanted to recruit, but I ran out of time to recruit him, and I had to kill him. And I'm like the whole time, like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this. I'm so sorry.
The first time I was playing through on Golden Deer, I was unable to recruit like half the characters I wanted to recruit, and so being one of those I couldn't recruit was Ash, and I had to kill him, and I killed him, and I felt so sad.
That poor boy.
Sad.
He is. That boy is just precious. I had to kill God, what's her name with the purple hair? That's super shy.
Oh, Bernadetta?
Yeah, I had to kill Bernadetta.
I had to kill her too.
I ran out of time, and I was like, when I was living the Final Blow, I'm like, I'm sorry, I really am. I tried.
Yes. That game, like, it pulled your heartstrings, especially like when they died, like when they're like talking. So I feel like it's like a few of the characters that caught me off guard too was like Linhardt, because Linhardt's like quote before you even battle him. It's just like I knew this day would come. I just hoped we were alive a little later. It's like he was already knew he was gonna die. I'm just like, damn man, like trying to have a little hope. Like damn.
Yeah, like that game had such good storytelling. That's why I want to play it again. Not to mention, I also want to play Golden Deer Ride again with female Byleth, because I never thought in the history of games that I would want to marry a male character off to another male character so much as Claude.
Claude is just low key, just like damn, I cared.
For real though, like I have male Byleth because I'm like, I'll be able to just get with whatever waifu I want. And then from the very beginning of the game, Claude's like, I'm like, ooh, Claude is cool, you know? He's gonna be my friend. And then by the end of the game, I'm like, Claude, let's talk about this. It's not that bad, man. I'll put on a wig. Like, I really wanted Mel Byleth and Cloud to be a thing. And I'm like, why did I not start this game as a female? That's my fault. I didn't think it would be like this.
No, see, that's how I play, especially with the newer games. I always play as the opposite sex. So, like, if there's another main word that I have to play with, I always play as the opposite sex, only because, like, I don't know if they kept the stuff that they brought in from Fates. I know with Fates, it didn't matter who you could be with anyone. Fates, pretty much. But
Mm-hmm.
it didn't matter what sex were either too. But I know like sometimes that they sometimes shy away from that depending on what's going on. So it's like I didn't know they're going to be this game. So it's like I'm definitely going to play. So I did actually play with Violet, and I was lucky because I did get I was able to romance Claude, and it's just like I'm so glad I did this. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's just like he was such a really well written character. I mean, there's like a few that are like that. Miriam was another one that I liked a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like. Her character's really sad too. If you play the Black Eagles route, the secret route for it,
Yeah.
and you have to fight Hilda, and it's just like
I was gonna say like the thing with Three Houses, it's like uh the blue
Blue Lines.
yeah, the Blue Lions, that one had really good story.
Yeah.
The Black Eagles, I would say, was the weaker one of them. Because
No, it definitely
I
was a weaker one, without a doubt. No, you're right about that. To
yeah.
me, without a doubt, it's a tie between Golden Deer and Blue Line, and I say that because Golden Deer goes more into the actual depth of things that the other stories don't touch. So it goes to the people in the shadows. It goes to like the background things that you need to actually know to understand the full completion of the story. Whereas Blue Lion's more of a personal story with Dimitri, and it goes really well into that.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
where I feel like they're tied.
Yeah.
Because
Like
yeah,
Blue Lion, like you feel for Dimitri. It's like, yo, my dude needs a break. And the story itself was great. With Golden Deer, I felt like I needed to keep the whole class alive no matter what. It's like the bond that you build with like the characters throughout it is so good, and like you said, it goes more into the backstory of it. I mean, you have an actual legit good boss fight with Nemesis. Like that, besides the point of being an epic last stage and the best music, it ties everything up really well. Whereas just like the other ones, yeah, the story is good, but it doesn't go as in depth behind the scenes.
yeah, I can see that.
It's like I really feel like they meant for you to like play the Blue Lions route first, and then the Golden Deer, so you like understand more of the backgrounds. And the Black Eagles, I felt like they had something going, but then they were like, "Yo, we're out of time."
Hold on a second. Second most adorable Digimon right there.
Oh, the little seal lion thing.
Yes. Cannot tell me he does not have the adorableness to him.
Yeah, I remember that one. Like once I saw him, like, oh, I remember this one. I've seen it before.
Yeah, he becomes the second Digimon I started actually training up for free as a free
nice.
Digimon. So, yeah, I don't think you see him too much in this series, but you see him in his evolved form later on in the series I'm creating. But sorry about that. Continue.
No, you're good. But yeah, like I felt like the Blue Lion was the one that you were supposed to start off with, and it was supposed to be either Blue Lions or the Red Eagle or the Black Eagles, but then they ran out of time while they were doing the storyline for the Black Eagles. It was like the story looks like it was going somewhere, and then like it kind of just becomes really messy.
Yeah, this boss fight was abnormally long, and it wasn't really a boss fight, so I kind of cut it real quick. Sorry about that. Just have to say that real quick.
Yeah. But yeah. And they definitely meant to make the Golden Deer not your first playthrough.
Which everyone made it like the first playthrough.
Yeah, because I mean, the second you see Claude, it's like, yo, my boy over here is trying to charm my pants off, and it's working.
I mean, Claude felt like the most relatable character though out of the three. Like, if you really think about it, you have Edelgard who's like super obsessive in 5 seconds. You can already see it. So you're just like, and then you have Dimitri who is like that super over polite person. You're just like, you seem too bland. And then you have Claude just being like, I'm gonna throw sand in your ass because I can't. You're just like, yes.
Clyde is over here committing crimes against humanity. He's like, it's just a prank, bro.
It's just like, why? But you know what? I want this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like that's what made him just like so likable as a character because he wasn't like the normal lord you normally see. He was like all about respect and perfection and everything like that. He was like, nah, I'm gonna play dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Claude, like I love that about him. It's like we make it happen. However it happens, don't worry your pretty little head about it. We're gonna make it happen.
But you know, I think that's what just brought most people to him. Like, don't get me wrong, some people like Edelgard more, some people like Dimitri, but I think in general, if it says to most people, I think it's like Claude's one of the best worked out of the three.
Mm-hmm. In general, I think Claude is one of the best written characters that I played in a video game.
Like all the characters, just out of all the lords.
Like out of all the video games, I would say he's definitely like in the top 5.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah, because
I'll
there's
definitely give you that.
yeah, there's him. There's Zack Fair, and Zack becomes so much worse if you never played Final Fantasy VII. Because I played Crisis Core before I played 7, and I had no clue he dies at the end.
So, how do you feel about Birth by Sleep then? Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep? Your boy Zach was in that game.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like, wait, did I play that? And I'm like, yeah, it's the PSP one.
Yeah.
I
That line. I'm gonna become a hero someday. It's like,
yeah, I feel like they made like I feel like it would fit Zack if he was like a teeny bopper. Yeah, it's like a very young Zack, and the main reason why I like Axel from Kingdom Hearts is because he reminds me a lot of Zack. I'm like, yo, that's my boy with red hair.
Yeah, Axel's character's not bad. Out of the organization 13 members, it's for me, I like him a lot. I also like what's his face? I mean, this is excluding Rox and Shion because those are like the main characters in a sense. Become Lord of 13 members, 13 members. But I also like it's Lance Boy, Zadley. There we go. Although I hate his boss fight, I still love him as a character. He's a more like actual unique character that has like different types of things. It doesn't like, just look for issues and stuff like. So I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, I see what you mean. Character wise to me, did I actually have like a list of like favorite characters? Like I have a list of like characters in that series I like, but I don't know if they like top it. Like for example, in Cyber Sleuth, I have one favorite character I keep mentioning, but the character hasn't showed up in the series yet that I put online. Once he shows up, I'm gonna point him out. But he's my favorite character because the way his character works in the series is like you obviously know when you see him, he's like some type of villain.
Yeah.
But the game keeps throwing curveballs at you to make you think he's maybe not so much of a villain, just out there in the way he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And it does it so well. So even to the end of the game, it does that. And it's not even like the ending is like a little bit of corniness to it, but not too much. And it's just like It's just perfect, and I love that. So he's like one of my top tier characters too, without a doubt. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know if I actually have like top tier characters like that. Like, it's just like I think I just play the games. I play the game. I think I'm wrong. Like, I love the series, but I don't know if I have a comparison about that.
Is that the other waifu that you mentioned?
Yes, that is Saki.
I would say, like, yo, that's a waifu right there.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the other character. There's technically two more, but they're not with them. They're someone else. But like, you meet all the characters beforehand before you go into this world, so it's not really a spoiler talking about how many characters there are because you meet all of them beforehand.
Oh, okay. Ooh, are they gonna show Mr. Big Mouth with the big pants?
You know it.
But yeah, so like another one of my favorite characters, though it's not really fair to say he's a well-written character because you write him, it's Shepard from Mass Effect series.
I really need to play Mass Effect game. I've not played one.
Really? You haven't?
Nope, never played a single one. That's because I don't really like a lot of first-person shooters. I'm not referring to Mass Effect as first-person shooters.
No, they're not first-person at all. All of them are third-person.
Oh, they are? Oh, well. But it's a shooter, though, correct?
It is, but you can bring down the difficulty to where it's like you're just enjoying the story. It's like the biggest thing is like throughout the first through the third game, every decision that you make, it kind of goes into the other one. To like most games, by the end of it, there's a big mission where you can potentially lose some of your crewmates. And
that was adorable. I can't help but call it out.
Yeah.
He's just like plop there being all serious. It's just it's like, you're too adorable, too precious for this world. I would not let any harm come to you.
He literally has a permanent OO face.
Just give it a second, you'll see why I'm saying it. It's wearing pants. And it's like,
yo, my boy has a bigger mouth than a human. Like, all he has to do is chomp chomp, and that's it. I was like,
I will say this is like,
get his attention.
That's a smart choice to like make it like just get distracted. All right, pay attention to this part. I'm so pissed at this part. Pay super attention, and then we'll talk after this part plays through.
I'm just saying, Floramon, the last evolution, I have no clue what it is, but I'm 99.9% sure that has, whoa. What is my boy wearing? I feel like he should be wearing some type of mask with that outfit too.
Alright, you just pay attention to what just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off beyond reason. Like, I completely threw his character down the bus. I was like, I hate this character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can understand just being kind of like afraid of what's going on, but the fact that he didn't shove her, but he basically kind of did.
I mean, he's just trying to distract him, you know?
Keep watching. Oh, he's gonna get numb. And now we lost the professor. Had Tsuji not did what he fucking did, the professor wouldn't be gone.
That's sad.
That's why I can't forgive him.
I mean, at least he fell and he didn't get half eaten.
This is at the top of a dam.
Mm-hmm.
At the top of a dam. A dam. And he fell on the other side. Not where the water is being held up at.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just gonna hit and be done. Or if he gets half eaten, it probably lasts a lot longer.
Man, I hate Tsuji's character, beyond reason, because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his redeeming grace of saving grace was Lopemon. Because Lopemon reminds me of Terriermon, and Terriermon is the cutest of all the Digimon. But I can't forgive him for what he did.
Yeah. That's a pretty douchey move.
Yeah, especially if Saki would have died because of that.
I mean, at that point, he'd be irredeemable.
Yeah, this scene kind of threw me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just like, we didn't get a chance to fight yet, and now they're like having this whole thing where like, oh, he's like, I need to do this for the sake of everyone. I'm just like, but we haven't even started fighting it yet.
Yeah.
I'm just, huh? Also, apparently, Labramon's actually a guy. Yeah, that one caught me off guard.
Yeah, definitely doesn't look or sound like a dude.
I don't have anything against it. It's just like, because I picked it up on because like certain later in the clips, they keep referring to Labramon as a he and stuff like that. I'm just like, it's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
All this time I thought it was a girl. What the hell? But yeah, but now get to the real discussion. Them pants.
Yeah, it definitely looks like something that you can't really talk about in PG settings. But those leather latex strappy yikes pants.
I'm just like, someone had to sit there and draw this. Someone had to sit down and draw this. Why?
I mean, there's people that draw worse.
I mean, I get that. This is for a kid's show, apparently. Also, I feel like Labramon was like the Kelfkey of like Pokemon. Because
yeah,
you see it now. Dobermon.
I just can't get over the eyes on the legs. That looks horribly painful, actually, because it's like you can tell their eyes, maybe, but also looks like just open wounds.
My whole thing is just they couldn't be a little bit more creative, just a little bit more creative. Like,
The question
why?
is, if Doberman's third evolution is not like a three-headed Cerberus dog type of deal, what are they even doing?
Guess you have your priorities straight.
It's just like after that, that's like the only thing it's missing. It's just two more heads. But it's Digimon, so they would put two more heads and they would make him like half human, half an armored tank, and some guns coming off the eye holes.
And the guns make all the more change.
You know what? I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna spoil myself, see what his third evolution is. Oh god.
All right, don't spoil me, but
Yeah, of course.
just honestly, just say yes or no if it's that.
I wasn't fully correct, but I was on the money on some parts.
Okay, that's good. So it's not some sexualized human copy.
No. It's not some kind of awkwardly like, what am I looking at? What am I feeling this way?
絶対に勝つんだ。いやトリモン。さあ行こう。
So I still can't get over the fact that he has pants like that. Like, I can't let it go.
Maybe they're not pants. Maybe it's maybe he just has circulation problems, you know, and they're just pants and remote circulation. That's the obvious.
But the way it wraps around his body.
You know, it's circulation, man, you know. and posture. That's it. Circulation and posture.
I don't know how you get posture out of that.
Because, you know, it's like pulling at your...
ここは俺が行く。
Okay.
What? The throw up attack?
No. So, like, whenever you digivolve little bird thing,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, right. It's not like Pokemon. They don't just have 3 evolutions. So I went looking at the rest of Doberman's evolution chain. I'm like, they made it weird.
So they did make it all humane.
The very last one, yeah. It's not weird in like the point like why am I feeling this way? But it's just kind of odd. Yeah, it's a human thing. I should have known.
I knew it. Digimon couldn't resist it.
I mean, when I take into consideration all the other evolutions and everything, I was pretty much on a money on everything. It just goes into different evolutions. Everything that I said is not in one, but throughout his Digivolutions, they're there.
Curiosity now is burning bright.
Don't do it, don't spoil yourself. I mean, I was able to guess it, and I'm not a huge Digimon fan slash or not fan. Just I don't have the biggest Digimon knowledge, so I'm pretty sure whatever you're imagining it is pretty much right on the spot.
That's not good. That's depressing.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, like everything that I said is in its evolution.
Also, yes,
So
it did just throw poop.
yeah, I just saw that, and his poop is pink. So I imagine he's eating a lot of berries.
Could say he's eating some poffins.
The other thing I like about video games, like they obviously are meant to have this fight with a big bad guy, and like the least they could have done on like the cutscene is whenever I was like, "Oh, I can do this. I want to help everyone." They could have at least shown the other little guys, you know, backing up the big bad guy. No, they make it seem like you're just gonna fight him. But then, lo and behold, there's like 20 other enemies that come out of nowhere.
You know what? It's never a one-on-one fight. It's always a gang fight.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
Yeah,
let's be
almost.
honest. Most game bosses, they're just handicapping themselves. Because your character always goes with the power of friendship and 20,000 items. You over here like, I'm gonna defeat you with power of friendship and a lot of healing stuff.
Sad part is you're not wrong.
And one thing I really actually want them to make is to make a game where
Watch me be stupid.
not just that, it's just I want a game to have like the same health pool for both good guys and bad guys, and just make the bad guys smart. Like, because you know how like you have most games like your characters have like let's say like that thing just hitting for like 106, but you see your health is 400. Like, I want a game where like all the bosses have around the same amount of health as you, but they're also going to use items. They're going to be like smart, because it never makes sense. Like, you have this evil, great being that's like threatening the whole universe, but then your characters over here with the power of friendship are like hitting here for like 1,000 health, and then he turns around, he hits you, it's like 300. So you're telling me that my dudes are 5 times stronger than you?
So I agree to only disagree with you on this one, and the only reason I say that is because in Persona 3, there's a fight just like what you're talking about. Actually, pretty similar to what you're talking about. It's a secret boss battle, and the boss you're fighting against, I think, it only has like pretty much about 10 times your HP, or not like it's not a crazy amount. It's only, I think it's like 20,000. You have like 999, so you almost have 1,000. The damage is pretty equal. But the thing is, to beat this character, you have to get her or his, because the only portable version of it, you can go either way. But you have to get his or hers HP down to under 10,000 exactly. But you have to do it so that it does that without it being her turn or his turn. So if their turn, they'll just heal themselves completely.
Yeah.
And you have to go through this entire cycle with them again, because their entire fight is just a cycle. And it's like every turn they're going to use a different persona, and then a certain turn they'll use this one persona, where if you don't use this one spell to make yourself invulnerable,
Are you talking about
automatically
Dorkun?
Yes, I'm talking about Dorku. Do you know about the fight I'm talking about?
Yeah. After you started talking, I'm like, wait a second, I know this guy. It's a good old door.
Yeah, that fight does exist, and it's exactly what you want. And I don't think you like that idea.
Well, the thing is, he has infinite items. Like, he can just keep replenishing himself unless you do the correct loop where I want the characters to be like on even grounds. Like, you know what? Yeah, this final boss is gonna have like one ability that lets him act 2 times. So you can either try to like pull some kind of like min-max thing to like try to one-shoot him, or he'll go damage you and he'll boom, use the potion. And he'll be back to full health. But then he only has like 30 of them. I think the game that best comes close to this is like Pokemon.
Well, let's yeah, because actually Arceus Legends got even better about that. With Pokemon, usually it was like the Elite Four members would have potions, and you're just like, why?
Yeah.
But Arceus Legends too, it got really good for that, especially because the final boss fight. Did you do that fight yet?
Yeah. The one thing I didn't like about Arceus is like, I get that Pokemon training.
Not that fight. I'm talking about the final trainer fight. The fight that's actually 8 battles and not the proper 6.
Yeah. But yeah, besides that, all the other trainers, they have like 1 or 2 Pokemons.
Yeah, that's what I feel like they could have fixed that. But either way, they were still on the right track though, because a lot of the people did actually have potions and so then they would use them.
Yeah, just like 100%. Yeah, I agree. Like I actually really enjoyed Arceus for that thing. It's like it was a pretty good Pokemon game when it came down to battling and all that stuff. Like the trainers were kind of smart. The only problem is they had 1 or 2 Pokemon, and you have a full team of 6 that are at their level or higher. So they really can't do anything about you.
That also makes sense though, because like where the story takes place.
Oh yeah, 100%. It makes sense. I was like wishing that there would be more of a challenge
Towards the end of the game, yeah, they would actually start being more. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why they didn't, because towards the end of the game, they started being a couple of Pokemon anyway too. And it's just like at that point, everyone should be having at least 6 or almost. I do at least 6 Pokemon. But
well, I really did thoroughly enjoy Arceus because it was such a different take on Pokemon, in a good way, in my opinion. So I can't wait to see what they do with this new one coming up.
So that also has me interested because if I'm watching Direct for Scarlet and Violet, apparently they're trying to make it so like you don't have to follow a set story. The story's just done by missions. And that's like that's a hit or miss to me.
Yeah.
Because while just doing missions can lead to like some pretty interesting storytelling aspects you could have. At the same time, if it's not done right, it's just gonna feel like a repetitive mess that the DLC was and Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
That fireball was not a nice fireball, was it? Yeah, they're super on their level for this fight when you get them, and I think if I remember correctly, they can't die, and I'm just like, why do you give us to them at this level?
Yeah.
Like, all the Digimon I'm using almost all double their levels, and it's just like, why? They should at least be like a little bit more higher, because they've been fighting this entire time, so why are they at that level? You see what I'm talking about? Like, literally, they were like 7 and 8. I'm just like, bro, everyone on my team is at least above level 11.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They don't have the power of friendship and yeah, they just don't have as much power of friendship.
Apparently. You see that slab right there? I'm gonna turn into like a lightning slab. That's
Yeah.
how you evolve a free monster from free to a champion level, and then I think it's the perfect for ultimate level, and then the ultimate for a mega level.
Yeah.
So that's how I do the evolutions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it to some good parts in a moment.
Ooh, I'm excited. After this, I'm gonna head to a Korean restaurant.
Ooh, where are you going?
Not sure. My girlfriend wanted to meet there because her son is in the last hole of golf. So we're gonna be finishing around the same time and then meeting over there.
That's cool. Actually, technically, next week is my last week of this quarter for school, so I'll be free for 2 weeks. Yay!
I need to take 9 days of leave at some point.
Oh, what's it called? The use or lose.
Mm-hmm. And I just got back from stateside. Like I used like 20 something days. So. Be like, yo, why'd you guys devolve?
That's something you don't understand. They like fight with them at this level like at all times. I'm just like, bro, in the story, I'm just in the gameplay, I'm just evolving you immediately.
Yeah.
It's like very rare why I won't evolve you. Like sometimes I won't just because of the way the type advantages work. Some type of advantages are like the elemental advantages, but there's also another type of advantage where it goes between the main. It's harmony, vaccine, and or not harmony, data, vaccine, and virus. Vaccine beats virus, virus beats data, data beats vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in a boss fight, if I know the boss is like a, let's say, vaccine or virus type, I'm not going to evolve Agumon because Agumon was better off. Oh, yeah, if he's virus type, Agumon better off just staying as Agumon for the evolution I had. But if it's a vaccine type, then it's really good to evolve Agumon for the evolution I do have for him, which is the data type. So
yeah.
Now they're throwing that to you. Ooh, maybe the professor's not dead.
And then they all jump down the dam.
I'm not gonna jump down the jam. Just keep watching. Ooh, maybe he didn't die.
Ooh, are they gonna come across the body?
Just keep watching.
それも気になるけど。
なんかあいつ霧にまとわりつかれてない？
あ、本当だ。足元がほとんど霧に覆われて。
あんな怪物でもやっぱりあの霧は怖いのね。
なんでだろう。あの霧を見。
Yeah, so that's what the fog does.
So it just pulverizes him?
Not just him. It can
Anything
pulverize
that touches
anyone.
it?
Yes.
So Professor's probably a pile of dust.
Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Just remember what they said, the fog wasn't there until they just got down there for the fight.
Yeah.
And here are the other two characters.
Hmm.
何言ってんだ。俺はお前を心配して。
And that's the best boy.
お兄ちゃんついてこないで。
今はそんなわがまま言ってる場合じゃないだろう。見てみろ。あたりの様子がおかしいだろう。
確かに。なんか変だけどさ。
何があったかわからないが、気がついたらこんなありさまなんだ。そもそも俺たち二人とも突然気絶してたんだ。だからいいか、絶対俺から離れるなよ。
だからなんで命令するの？何様だよ。
俺はお前の兄なんだぞ。心配するのは当然だろう。
はいはい。何様って言うならお兄様でしただ。心配なんてしてもさ。
We'll say this about the relationship. It actually feels pretty genuine. I love how much effort was put into this writing. I cannot stress enough how much I love how much effort was put into this writing.
Yeah.
It's just so well done. It is so well done.
Mhm.
気絶なんて見たことないのにすごいよこれ。
お前な。
It reminds me of me and my own little sister.
Hmm.
なんだかわかんないけど見慣れた景色が見慣れないものになってるんだよ。これちょっとワクワク。
たく、お前ってやつは。
My prediction is the fog takes him somewhere, and in the end, the professor's gonna be alive.
So, not to spoil, but the next episode, next clip, I will make sure you're going to be there to watch it. You and Dank both want to. Because I already made Dank an off-screen promise, and that's the episode he has to watch. And now for you, since you want to understand more about the fog, you now need to watch that next episode. So,
Alright, sounds good.
I'll make sure the next episode when we do it will be me, you, and Dank together. Maybe a few more people.
Aye.
よし、これだけあの足音の正体だけでも好き。なんだあのでかい化け物は。あの右腕。
Then you remember that Digimon are huge.
And then he got squished.
sadly, no. I mean, I say sadly, but never realize that makes me happy because, like I said, he's one of the characters that, like, I will keep you alive at all costs.
Mhm.
おい、あまり世話を焼かせるな。どこに。ミュウ。ミュウ。
Actually, kind of
That
funny
was
just because later on, if you talk to him about his like sister at all, that's how you get his affinity points up. Anytime you mention his sister, you get points automatically. But
oh.
continue to say what it was say.
I was just gonna say that was like the most half-assed call. It's like, no, come here, please. Oh, no.
Look at Agumon's little innocent face.
Mhm. He's just staring at you as you sleep, thirsting, hungry for your flesh.
いや、いいよ。食堂に集まるんだし。
This made me have mixed feelings about Saki. This next scene, I'm just like, I feel like her priorities are not straight here, but I guess they are at the same time. You'll understand when you watch it.
とりあえず、今日はもう休もう。みんないろいろと疲れてるだろうし。そうだね。もう立っているのも限界だ。
修二、大丈夫？
そばに寄るな。
ごめん。
Also, that's another reason why I hate Suji. He keeps treating Lopamon like he's some disease, and
ね、ちょっと。まさか。
also
I mean-
Lopamon's also a guy too.
I mean, he is a bunny with horns. That's not right.
He's like the most normal-looking one out of all of them.
I know.
そうじゃなくて、男子と女子一緒に寝るの？え？
何言ってんだよ。そんなの気にすんなって。今。
気にするに決まってんでしょ。バカなの？着替えとかお風呂とか。
This is what I meant.
女の子には見られたくないことがたくさんあるのよ。
Yeah, so apparently before Saki came, everyone just slept in the same room, which to me that makes the most sense when you're in a world like this. If something goes wrong, you hear one person scream, everyone's ready to go. So it's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, we need to be separate rooms. Just like, I mean, you're not wrong because that's privacy is a thing. And at the same time, it's just like, we're in another world where monsters are trying to kill us. I feel like this shouldn't be the first thing on your mind. I really feel like this shouldn't be the first thing on your mind. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't disagree. But why is this the first thing that's on your mind?
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling Takuma a fucking pervert because
I mean,
he's actually bringing logic to the table, and it's just like,
詳しいのね。なんだかそれって進化みたいだね。わからないことがあったら何でも聞いてちょうだい。
I love Pokemon. Pokemon, he's gonna his response. I was laughing my ass off when I saw that response.
I know.
確かにこれはサキさんの言う通りね。
まあ、当然といえば当然ではあると思うね。くだらねえ。どうせ俺たちはなんかとんだ濡れ衣着せられた気がするけど。どうするタクマ。
Also, I did ask Stank the same thing. Who do you think's gonna die first, excluding the professor?
Him.
さっきも言ったけど、
Either him or the guy with the pink hairband.
You're talking about Ryu? Ryu and more?
Yeah, Ryu.
What makes you choose those two, if you know what I'm asking?
He always looks kind of scared, Minoru, and Ryu just looks like a good target to kill off.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you Dank's choice, and then like I said, the next episode you find out who actually does. But that's kind of a spoiler, but not really. But yeah. Dank's choice was Aoi.
Nah, she ain't gonna die.
What makes you say that? I'm curious now.
Merchandise, that's it.
Yeah, just make sure you show up for next episode.
Yeah. Quick question: are we almost done? Because
yes, we only got 12 minutes left.
What's up?
You gotta head out.
Yeah.
All right. See ya, Boo Thang.
Alright. It was fun, man. It really was.
Yeah, sorry. These episodes are actually kind of long. I probably should have told you how long they were.
Nah, you're good. The golf practice also finished early. I didn't think it'd be done until 6:30.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Alright. See you, Boo Thang.
Alright, see you.
Yeah, pretty much the episode's already done anyway. They basically just talk about a few things and they're done. But yeah, you'll be ready for the next episode. Like I said, I'll try and actually plan this one out for us all to be ready for it to watch it together.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright. Alright, see you, Boo.
See you, bye.
Bye. But, no, Redo brought up a lot of good points, and especially throughout the stream, especially when it comes to like just like character design, stuff like that too. And I feel like in this story, the characters are really well designed. You'll start seeing more, you start dropping off hints of character development or character backgrounds like that in the past. That makes it just so really unique. I wish they did a little bit better where they actually added it more earlier on, but even with the character events, it's still not the still not enough. I wish they just added more to it though, but I don't know. I still gotta finish the game. Probably the game has more to it in the end. Pokemon's so smart. I had a question for the day. How would you do it if Digimon just popped in your lap? Like, say you woke up from going to bed, I don't know, like say at like 12 in the morning, and then somehow you just find yourself in a new world and Digimon's on your lap. Digimon of your choosing on top of that too, but it has to be a rookie like Digimon, so like something like either Agumon or Falcomon, some sense of that line of Digimon. What would you do?
その分ショックが大きいのも仕方ないさ。今は。でもさ、修二さんにはリーダーシップ取ってもらわないと。次の年長者は葵さんですよ。 あと亮な。どう考えたってこのメンツじゃ修二さんに頑張ってもらわないとさ。でもまず状況を把握したい。この学校のことや食料や水に関しては昨日そうだ、修二さんの方は野宿だよ。
Still dislike Suju's character, but I do like the fact they actually starts to step up now.
では僕たちが今までどうしてたか。まあでも若干ハードモードだよな。
So, do like they don't try to rehash shit, they actually just explain it pretty quickly in their black screen. I love that. So I don't want to see gameplay wasted just for trying to rewatch an entire, basically 30 minutes of them trying to explain everything they've just been through.
教授からも聞いた獣神や瞳悟空の伝承と合致。教授からもっといろいろ話を聞けてたらああ、残念だけど仕方ない。しかし得体の知れない化け物はいるわ。その化け物を飲み込んじまう霧まで出るわ。そうだよな、あの狼みたいな化け物でさえあの霧に飲み込まれたらどうなんだよ。わからない。でもアグモンたちも絶対に近寄っちゃダメだって言ってたし、気をつけた方がいい。
Dude, the fog is pretty interesting. Why is the fog in the first place? I know they don't mention it right now too much because again, you're getting into the story trying to understand why the fog's there, but what's the fog connected to? Obviously, it has to be connected to some type of monster in a sense, because there's no point in the fog just being a fog that exists.
壮大なドッキリ、僕らみんな騙されてましたとか。
ドッキリってなんだ？
お笑いタレントとかアイドルとかをびっくりさせて楽しもうっていう面白いことで、いや、ただの厨房にこんな大掛かりなドッキリとか。ここが何らかの異世界ならそれで腑に落ちることもあるよ。山深い未踏の地なら
The idea of having to explain a prank to poor Agumon.
学校に続く山道すらあるのに、どうして捜索隊も青年団も来ないのか、ヘリの一台も飛んでこないのか。やめろよ。どうすればここから脱出できるか、まずはそのことを考えないと。なあタクマ、このままじゃ拉致が開かなくね。修二さんはうなってばっかだし。
ごめんね。
ふむ、クネモンもこう言っていることだし。
お腹も空いちゃったしね。
それに女子の意見も聞いてみないとな。僕たちだけじゃなく女子2人の意見も聞いてみないと決められない。確かにそれも。なら続きは食堂で朝飯食いながらにしようぜ。それじゃあ朝食をとりつつみんなで話し合おう。ごめん、みんなは先に行ってて。あ、どうしたタクマ？トイレだよ。済ましてから食。お、そっか、余ってんなよ。
もうやってるみたいだよ。
本当だ、すごい剣幕だ。だから僕は反対。
It's about 5 a.m. or a match. Such a great morning time, eh?
ここにとどまっててもどうしようもないじゃん。
せめて周囲の状況だけは探ろうって言ってんの。
そうだ。状況把握は生き残るのに必須だからな。
私も修二さんに賛成だわ。ここにいれば外よりは安全なんだし。
私も葵に賛成よ。危ないことはしない方がいいわ。
君たちを危ない目に遭わせ
Also,
るわけ
this
にはいかない。
idea of just staying inside and hoping for the best is a really bad idea. Because if you think about it, you're in another world, and if you just stay in the area, that means that the enemy can plot against you.
それでも
So you need to actually explore. Obviously, you need to be careful how you explore, but you still need to explore.
先が見えないってことならここにだよね。だったら外に出て戻れる方法を探す方が建設的だと思わない？
それも一理あるな。でもそのために冒すリスクと釣り合いが取れるかどうかだよ。他に意見。
あいつ昨日からずっとああなんだ。
しょうがないな。みゆきちゃんに春は
わかんない。わかんない。
そうか。しょうがない。
あ、たくま、いいところに来たな。
そうだ。ちょうど2対2で意見が割れてたんだ。
Also, like how everyone else wants you to be the leader, but or not. I want Shuji to be the leader, but you end up being the one to decide all the things in the end. Makes perfect sense.
いいじゃん。たくまの思う通りにしなよ。
そう言われても。僕はここがどこなのか辺りを探索して調べたい。
だよな。
でも
また戦って倒せばいいじゃん。
ずいぶん自信があるみたいだけど。確かに。
だったら修二さんはどうするつもりなんだよ。
状況は変わるかもしれないだろう。
Sitting here is not a good idea. If you just sit there and do nothing, you're basically just making yourself sit and covered in another world. It's different sort if you're in a real world. Sitting in a certain area could be a good idea because you're safe in there. You make it a possibility that people could find you quicker.
確かに話が平行線をたどっているようではあるが。
Since they pretty much already figured out they're in another world, sitting is not the greatest idea.
それぞれ一旦頭を冷やそうよ。
そうだな。
そうしようか。それじゃあ2人だけじゃなくてみんなももう一度よく考えてみよう。それで改めて昼にもう一度集まるっていうのはどうかな。
まあいいんじゃない？
そうね。
それじゃあ朝ごはんを食べたら一回解散しよう。
With this, the episode will be ending. Big Cat is signing out. I hope you enjoyed. And coming around for the next episode when it finally airs. Take some time. Sorry. All right. Peace out. See ya.